Stock A main event rolling out of the staging lanes. It'll be Kyle Davis out of Hinton, Iowa, the 33 car on the inside of row number 1. To the outside, Brendan Stiggy testing out his brother's car. They got it tested pretty well because Fairbury, Nebraska racer in the 41 is going to start on that front row.
On the inside of row number 2, you're looking at the Lonesdale, Minnesota 51B of Brandon Bombardo. And on the outside, the Beatrice 2 of Ryan Rashesky.
Eric Gillette out of Slayton, Minnesota, the number 12, starts to the inside of row number 3. To the outside, it's going to be Brent Lemke out of Lincoln, Nebraska, in the 26L.
From Sterling, Nebraska, Ryan Gillen in the 46 will be on the inside of row number 4. And to the outside of him, it's the B4 of Ben Becker out of Lincoln, Nebraska.
Mike Hansen out of Weeping Water, Nebraska, the 94 car starts to the inside of row number 5. At the outside, from right here in Beatrice, the 6R, Rockin' Roy Armstrong.
Taking a look at row number 6 now. The Fairbury, Nebraska 3 of Taylor Huss will be on the low side. To the high side, it's the Neil Pella 3N out of Adams.
Jason Cole out of Missouri Valley, Iowa, the 27 on the inside of row number 7. To the outside from Lincoln, Nebraska, into 13T, it's Tyler Jackson.
David Carter in the 2C out of Fremont will line up on the inside of row number 8. And on the outside of him, it's the O'Neill, Nebraska 31K of Nate DeSive.
Pete Beaumont out of Concordia, Kansas, the 88B on the inside of row number 9. The outside, Terry Tritt out of York, Nebraska, in the 5X.
Out of the B feature, they come now, the 10th row. It's Dylan Richards in the 24R out of Beatrice on the inside. Chad Borgman in the 20 on the outside.
Starting 21st on the field from Underwood, Iowa, it's Larry Robinson Jr. in the 81J car. And his outside, Kyle Castillo out of Roca, Nebraska, in the 18K.
And your final two transfers from the B feature, the final two in the last row, Matt Barnard in the 24S on the inside, Dan Jackson in the 98 on the outside.
So that's how we stack them up for our A main event. 20 laps, the distance here for the hobby stocks. We'll take them down the back straightaway, bring them around. It'll be a parade lap next time by, race fans. So stand up, stomp your feet, clap your hands, make a little bit of noise for the hobby stocks.
Led around by the Beatrice Speedway pace truck. Ladies and gentlemen, this time by, we'd like to ask you all to stand up. Let's give a big wave to these drivers as they come by you. This is your IMCA Hobby Stock A main parade lap. Chet, we're down to 5 races left, man.
This evening going very well for us here, knock on wood.
Well, I didn't say anything
anything.
else. I just said we've only got 5 races left. All the A features besides the Sport Compact. We're going to start it off here. Hobby stocks, Sport mods will be next. Stock cars, late models, modifieds. These next 4, 20 laps in length. Modifieds will go 25. But it's time. As Travis Murray says, I like it. I love it. Let's do it. Green flag going high in the air. We're underway.
And watching them down into turn number 1 to 2, scattering across the racetrack. Kind of a 4-wide stair-step formation back in the mid-pack. As down the back chute we go. Top 3 cars are all in a little bit of a battle taking place up front. To 41 is going to be Brandon Stiggy, bringing him onto the front straightaway. Tested and tuning on the 41 car, and he tests his way into the number 1 spot.
Stiggy has the lead, heading back down into turn number 1. Currently running second. That is the 33 of Kyle Davis, but dropping down low, I believe that is that Rashesky in the 2 or Lemke in the 26L? I can't tell from this far out, Chet.
He's got her a little scuffed off, doesn't he?
Yeah.
We're going to find out as he brings it on through, and that is going to be the 46 car.
Ryan Gillen in the 46 machine running second right now.
Yeah, Gillen able to battle up through the field. It started back on the inside of row number 4, has already moved into P2, and somebody else that's on the move back behind is Rowan for all his worth on the outsides. That white car down into turn number 3 and 4. That is the 33, if I'm not mistaken.
That's Kyle Davis in the 33 right there, but he's losing a lot of distance on that outside as we go. Caution for the first time. Oh, yeah, right in turn number 1, right in front of me.
Yeah, it's kind of behind the pole for you, I think, is what threw you off on that one. So 18 laps remain. Well, we'll go back to our last scored laps. So we might have 19 remaining. Here comes the Kmart special down the front chute to check on. Oh, he's already gone. Do you know blue is the most visible light?
Yes, I've heard of that.
That's why the emergency vehicles are only allowed, or only the ones allowed to have blue lights on them. Or highway workers. Some states have highway workers. I learned that in off-road racing. In off-road racing, you have to have a blue light on the back of your whatever you're driving. If you're driving a trophy truck or a buggy or whatever, you have to have a blue light on the back so people can see it through the dust.
That's right. You did the off-road motorcycle tour for quite a while, didn't you?
Yeah, well, not quite a while. I did a little bit. Yeah, it was fun. Good stuff.
See, I actually remembered something.
Yeah, there you go.
That's shocking. Well, Brendan Stiggy will show the way. We will go 2 wide behind Stiggy the rest of the way back here when we get the field set up and lined up properly. Rashevsky will sit in that number 2 position. So Ryan Gillen will sit in the number 2. He'll choose high or low. They'll file in the rest of the way. Currently running 3rd on the Speedway. That's Eric Gillette in the 12 machine. And then he is followed by the 51B of Brandon Bombardo. So
Bombardo, who has his fan club watching on Flow Racing from up in Minnesota. It might only be one person, but it's still,
hey,
we can call it a club.
He's got a bigger fan club than we do, I guess.
That's a true story.
Well, you, maybe not, but me,
well, no,
yes.
that's definitely me. We're not going to go green just yet because we still have an official on the racetrack down here in turn number 4 picking up some debris.
We'll go green anyway. What the heck?
Be an incentive for him to get off the racetrack. Delaware double foul restarts taking place here. 26L car back here in the mix as well. Don't count out Lemke just yet.
And then you've got Davis and Taylor Huss in that 3rd row of double wides. And don't forget, you look back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 rows of the double wides back on the inside. There's Roy Armstrong sitting there.
Rockin'
He's
Roy.
Good on these restarts. We'll keep an eye on how much he makes up here as Stiggy brings him out of turn number 4.
Little skinny street tires here on the old hobby stocks as we cut them loose. They got to do a lot of digging and pawing if we're going to make some strides up through the field. As Stiggy goes to the cushion, turn number 1 and 2.
Ryan Gillen gets a good run down on that low side, shows Stiggy the nose as they head down the back straightaway. Brennan gets too much of a run off that high side. They'll dig it down into turn number 3. Gillen working that low side. He's got the 12 machine of Gillette looking on the low. Is that Kyle Davis going around?
That's a 33.
Whoa, look out down the front straightaway. We've got him tagged up. 3 of them involved there and make it 4.
Oh, my goodness. Well, they got him separated out. That saved us getting a tow truck out there. He's just kind of punched in and split the firewood.
Well, Jason Cole, look at that. All 3 out of the 4 are going. Jason Cole, the 27, he was tangled up in that. Rashevsky's 2 machine was another one involved in that. I didn't see who the 3rd one was, the one that's still parked up here. You can see some cosmetic damage on Rashevsky's 2 machine. Well, there's Davis. He was spun around in turns 3 and 4, and that brought the original caution down.
So working here, unfortunately, got an angle on a race car. You can't really see the back of it.
Well, whoever the driver is, he's out of the car, so he's okay. No injury there, but he's looking for somebody. Yep. I think he just invited Rashevsky out to lunch tomorrow.
Pretty sure that's exactly what that was.
So they might head to Runza with you, Chet.
You think? Well, take a second here, get him in proper running order, get him cleared off the racetrack. Take this opportunity to thank you again for joining us here at Beatrice Speedway. Thanks for joining us on Flow Racing as well. Hopefully you're having a nice time. We'll do it again tomorrow night. 6 o'clock will be hot lap 6:30 racing action for the second and final night of the Beatrice Octoberfest. Beautiful time of the year to be out here, and tomorrow we'll be journeying out. Keep your eye on Flow Racing websites or on your app and watch for the video. We're going to go out and tour with Johnny the Jet Sanoff. Check out Jet Racing.
Have you ever been out there? You've been out there before, haven't you, Jet?
It's been years since I was out there. And actually, they were just getting into stock cars at the time, I think. Could be wrong. My memory's not the steel trap. It never was.
Wait till you get my age, Chet. Wait till you get my...
Legacies aren't built overnight. They take passion, desire, and a fire that burns within. For 20 years strong, we've been there to help you fuel that fire. And we'll continue to be there as your history is made. Pit Stop USA. Live like legends. Racing's not a sport. Racing is a lifestyle. It's all night in the shop and long days on the road. You always push a little harder, and you refuse to lose. Protect yourself. Protect your passion. Pit Stop USA. Live like legends.
Holy smokes, that got crowded coming out of the corner, coming the outside right now. 17 laps remain. 3 laps scored in the books, it looks like. Checking out the Twin Rivers scoreboard.
Stiggy's still your leader. Gillen running second. Still holding down in third. It is Eric Gillette in that 12 machine. They will double wide each other. And then Taylor Huss has worked his way up into fourth. The 3 machine out of Fairbury, Nebraska, and currently running fifth on the Speedway. I believe it's Brent Lemke in the 26L. Bombardo has dropped back into the 6th spot. Running 7th, it is Mike Hansen in the 94. Armstrong runs 8th. Richards 9th. And rounding us out in the top 10, it is David Carter in the 2C.
So that's how we'll stack them back up. Should be one to go from starter stand this time by.
So Travis Murray, your head flagman, does give him the 1-to-go sign. We'll take him around. 17 of the 20 laps remain. Brendan Stiggy will set him down one more time. 2 wide behind him.
Good looking start back through the field onto the front straightaway. Stiggy, car length and a half advantage down to the corner. Look at the separation here. Roy Armstrong down the inside. I believe just kind of shoved that whole row forward.
Well, Roy Armstrong said, you know what, let's do a little bump drafting here, and let's see if we can get somebody up there on that low side. Stiggy running the middle groove around out of turn number 4. He's going to come back down. Here comes Taylor Huss, though. Huss working his way up into 4th on that low side, looking to get around Gillen. We could be going 3 wide for the lead down to turn 2.
Boy, Gillen got a pretty good look at Stiggy that time coming out turn number 2, and Stiggy might be in trouble. The 41 car hung on for those first 3 laps, but it's a totally different game now on this restart. 3 wide for your race lead. Out of the corner, Gillen gets shuffled back. Maybe here comes the number 3 car, Huss. You called it. He had started back on the inside of row number 6.
Taylor Huss will give Stiggy a run down the back straightaway. It's a battle of Fairbury cars right now at the point. Stiggy up on the high side, Huss down on the low side. Then you've got going around, that's Gillette in the 12. He'll make contact with Bombardo. Now he makes contact with Lemke, but he keeps going. We're going to stay on the green flag, Chet.
No, we're not. Caution's coming out. We got a big piece of metal debris down here just past the flag stand.
Yep.
And that was off of Lemke. I mean, maybe threw a drive shaft out of it.
That's what I'm thinking that is right there, entrance to turn 1.
So whenever Lemke got clipped, he got clipped on that left rear tire, and it yarded the rear end backwards, and the drive shaft dropped off of it. And that could have been a bad deal.
We got Toby showing off the strength.
Yeah, look at it, just kind of picked it up there, and he's just going to go dunk.
So Lemke will get a push to the back pit area, or an assist to the back pit area. He's out of his vehicle. Let's see if he invites somebody to lunch.
And that was just trying to keep it throttled up down there, and we had that contact that took place.
So Brent Lemke's night is done. Well, and all that confusion, I didn't see it, Chet, but Taylor Huss is your race leader.
I think that happened down in turn number 3 and 4. They must have got across the line
before the caution came out.
I think so. Well, it had to be.
Yeah, because the lap
everybody
before,
on that side of the booth is agreeing with it.
Yeah, the lap before, Stiggy had the lead coming off the high side, but now give it to Huss. He'll spot at the front. And then it will be Stiggy. Gilland will run third. Armstrong has worked his way up into fourth now with Richards running fifth. Dylan Richards came out of the B feature. He won the B feature, now running fifth on the Speedway.
And that's, you have a little bit of a misadventure in your heat race. If you have a very fast race car, it's just a prime example of how competitive these hobby stocks are. Racing his way up through the field and looking pretty good from a B main. How incredible would that be if he could win this thing from a B main?
Win the B main, win the A main. Seen it done, but we'll see what Dylan can do. He's running fifth right now. Still a lot of laps to go, 14 to go.
Yeah, plenty of time. So getting the car cleared off down here in turn number 1 and 2. Still Huss up front, who incidentally, I talked about it, started 11th on the field. Fairbury, Nebraska, and you point out a very good thing. Both of the drivers up front from Fairbury, Nebraska, home of, is that Jackson County?
Jefferson County Speedway.
Jefferson County Speedway over in Fairbury.
I saw you there a couple of years, well, last year or the year before. I can't remember which one it was.
It's a nice little racetrack, and a nice little fairground.
Yeah. That was when the USAC midgets were there, I believe.
And they go there pretty much every year. I think they're running, rumor has it that they're running a 3-day event there next year, is what I heard through the grapevine. And if you're not able to make it over there, you can catch all that on Flow Racing. USAC, all the national series on Flow Racing. Sprint cars, midgets, Silver Crown. There's Silver Crown race coming up this Sunday. If you want to watch a great race, Springfield Mile is this Sunday on Flow Racing. You can tune in and watch that.
Well, Flow even does the college wrestling, too.
Yes, NCAA wrestling.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, I kind of has a spot in mind because I do the PA for Nebraska wrestling.
Oh, really?
So I get to see a lot of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's crazy the crossover from wrestling to racing.
Yes.
The number of people like both.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to try not to wrestle on the racetrack. We're going to try to race our way out here.
Yeah, no arm bars or headlocks in this one the rest of the way out. Huss will bring him down to the line off turn number 4. He's got Stiggy and Gillen in tow. Huss and Gillen drop low. Stiggy keeps it up on that high side. Look at Gillen getting the run on Huss on the restart. And look at Dylan Richards. Richards will take it down. We're going to go 3 wide into turn number 3. Stiggy up the high side. Gillen in the middle. Richards on the low.
Richards looking for the race lead from the B main. He won a B main. He's got the number 1 spot almost as they got across the line. Stiggy able to hang on to it for just a little bit. They'll come out turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Richards, though, is trying his hardest to get that number 1 spot away from the 41 car.
Stiggy will continue to work that high side. Here comes Roy Armstrong up high as well. Stiggy gets a great run that time off 4. That's going to put Richards back to 2nd. Here comes Armstrong into 3rd. Huss has drifted back into 4th.
Yeah, Rockin' Roy Armstrong's actually ricocheting off the wall down turn number 1, trying to get a run on that 2nd and 3rd position. He goes around the outside of Huss into number 3. Peeps him back in the number 4 spot. He is on the back bumper. A little beep beep around the 2nd position as they roll through the apex of 3 and 4.
Well, Brendan Stiggy picked something up on that restart, man. He is fast on that top side. Taylor Huss, he was working that low line and was getting some work there. Let's see if this race goes on and we run a few laps here if Huss is able to get that back.
Yeah, Huss working that number 4 spot's got a gap, a little cushion of comfort between himself and the cars back behind as we got a 4-car breakaway from the number 46 car of Orion Gillen, who's kind of dropped off the pace of those front ones. He's hanging on to 5th for now, but he is not looking good in turn number 1 and 2.
Well, Roy Armstrong is not the patient type, and he is wanting to get around Dylan Richards and give Stiggy a run for his money up there. Look at this as Huss drifts up. almost catches one of them. They'll go back into one. It will be Stiggy, Richards, and Armstrong. Single file around the top. Huss at the low by himself.
I get this sense that Rockin' Roy Armstrong's kind of waiting in the weeds for the number 6 cars. They roll down into turn number 3 and 4. It's going to be 8 laps to go. He's got plenty of time. He's waiting for something, an opportunity to be given to him here between those top 2 cars. The 41 has still got the number 1 spot. Stiggy's working to cushion out of the corner, but Richards is still right there pestering into turn number 3 and 4.
Well, you can see Richards. He tries to drop low once he gets on that back bumper of Stiggy out of the turns, but then he files back in down the straightaway. Now you'll see him go into the turn right behind him, now diming it off.
How about Huss still working the bottom of the racetrack? The number 3 car's kind of glued down there, and equally as quick as those top 3 on a totally different line. And we talk about that many times as well. You got to go where they ain't. Ain't nobody on the bottom. All he needs is one good drive, and he can pick off a spot. And here it comes on Roy Armstrong. Not quite there, just that.
Well, Richards is going to give Brendan Stiggy a little shove heading into that one, but Stiggy holds that line and now extends his lead over Richards a little bit going into 3.
Well, and there's trouble afoot. Is up front. We're going to run into a little bit of lap traffic, and it seems to be working the same line as your top 3 cars. Not so much the case for Huss down low. So this could be the opportunity the number 3 was looking for as they race into turn number 1 and 2. Stiggy to 41, looks ahead, sees the car. Richards right behind, working second on the field. Rockin' Roy Armstrong, the number 6. Huss has got a good drive down on the inside. Top 4 cars are still nip and tuck.
Now look at Richards. He's going to try to drop low on Stiggy coming out of this. Right in between. Look at Stiggy getting back onto the top side. Richards is down low. Stiggy has to kind of nudge it in there. Richards is going to try to get that spot. Drives into Stiggy, puts him on the wall.
Oh!
Stiggy around and turned down the back straightaway. This is going to be a little interesting, Chet.
Eesh. Wow. They got together back here, and Stiggy saw the wild ride. That is a very fast number 41 car who definitely has some damage underneath of it, because I can't imagine anything would be able to take that abuse. My goodness gracious.
And he is stalled down the back straightaway.
He's also out of the race car. And lets his feelings be known to Richards in the 24R. Call from the officials? So the call coming out for questionable driving. 24R car will be sent to the tail of the field.
And look who our leader is.
Lo and behold, Rockin' Roy Armstrong. And we said he was going to be one to watch in this one.
Ryan Orszewski may have to do a little cosmetic work on that 2 machine at the back there after tonight, Chet. He's got some pieces just barely hanging on there.
And nothing duct tape won't fix.
No.
So Rockin' Roy Armstrong up onto the point. Huss in the number 3 car, Fairbury, Nebraska racer, who had started 11th, has now currently scored 2nd.
Ryan Gillen runs 3rd in that 46 machine. Ryan started inside row 4, so he started 7th on the Speedway.
Just behind him, the number 94 car of Mike Hansen out of Weeping Water, Nebraska. I don't know where that is, but it sounds awesome. You got a strobe light on your phone there. You got all kinds of excitement.
Yeah,
Oh, it tells you to go to bed?
Yeah,
Mine does
yet,
that too.
though.
I never listen to it.
Yeah. I'll listen to that one sometimes. It's at 1 in the morning that tells me to wake up that I have trouble listening to.
Shout out to Cody Malicote, tuned in watching on Flow Racing. Cody, I thought you were back in the pit area. Now you're sending me messages that I understand that either you're not in pit area or you're in the pit area watching on Flow Racing. So shout out to Cody. Thanks for joining us.
Well, that's
His
kind
brother
of
Jason and his nephew Isaac.
kind of a shame to see Stiggy have to end his night on a hook. He had a strong race car here tonight. Hopefully he'll get that thing fixed up and back out here tomorrow night and see what kind of run he can put on night number 2. Chet, we're down to 4 laps to go here.
We are indeed here on the second feature event of the night. Hobby Stocks out here. Look out. We got a whole hauler parked there in the middle of the racetrack. Trying to get out of the infield. Should be one to go from the starter stand.
So Taylor Huss has chose the low side here for the restart. That'll put Gillen on the high side of him. And then you've got Mike Hansen going to the low side to file in behind Huss. And on his outside, it's Neil Pella. And then Borgman, Becker. And there's Bombardo. He was up front for a while there at the front. He was running really strong. He's kind of drifted back here lately.
Yeah, car just not there for him at the end. Actually started third on the field for the Lonsdale, Minnesota racer. Probably jinxed him when I talked about the fan club.
4 laps to go. Here is Rockin'. Roy Armstrong bringing him out of 4. Huss in tow, along with Gillen and Hansen.
Gillen's going to have to find a little something extra. I don't think he has the car to run with that top 2 cars. That's Rockin', Roy, and Huss. Both of them pretty fast up front. Gillen falls back into the clutches of the 94 Hansen. Hansen down the inside in the purple People Eater, trying to make it happen in turn number 3 and 4, and he gets ambushed coming out of the corner.
That's Chad Borgman making a run to the low side on Hansen, looking for 4th. Borgman sitting in 5th. Here comes Neil Pella up on the back bumper of Borgman now. That's getting a little congested down on that low side.
I don't know if you're watching the line that Rockin' Roy Armstrong's got going on in the number 6 car. Turn number 3 and 4 looks fairly normal, but watching turn number 1, he's going to put that right rear on the wall on the entrance into turn number 1. That's how he's turning the corner. Watch this. Down in there, just kind of boop right there, and down off the banking he goes. The number 6 car still leading the charge.
Armstrong getting a good strong run through 1 and 2. Huss is able to make up some ground here in 3 and 4, though. That's where he's been doing it, but we've got the white flag coming out. So if Huss is going to do it, he's got to do it right now.
And he's got to go big time because Rockin' Roy's got her singing a merry tune down in turn number 1 and 2, right up to the wall and down the back straightaway. I don't think Huss has anything for him. I think Roy's got the field covered. Good battles taking place from, well, let's call it 4th, 5th, and 6th. But up front, it is the Roy Armstrong show.
Armstrong will set it down off turn number 4, final time. He's got the double checkers in his sights, and Roy Armstrong will be your winner on night number 1.
Second going to go to Huss, the number 3 car, and rounding out those top 3 podium spots, Ryan Gillen, the Sterling, Nebraska racer, in the 46.
And Mike Hansen will finish in 4th at 94 machine, the Weeping Water, Nebraska. But it's Rockin' Roy Armstrong getting the checkered flags here on night number 1, Chet.
So Roy going to make his way down here to victory lane. Toby Cruz waiting on him. Coming up next on the schedule of activities is going to be our Sport Mod feature event. Roy Armstrong, not his first visit to victory lane here at Beatrice Speedway.
No, and you know, Roy's going to be the first one to admit he got some luck here tonight to get that win.
Well, no stranger making his way to the Beatrice Speedway victory lane. How about our race fans, Roy Armstrong? Well, Roy, first off, congratulations, and I'm telling you what, the hobby stocks, never a disappointment.
Yeah, it was quite a race. I feel bad for Brandon Stiggy. I think he probably had that one in the bag. I don't know what happened, but hats off to him. Those guys had a good car. The track was fast, a couple grooves, and it's kind of chilly. We like to see the fans that we got out here. Thanks for coming. Thanks to my sponsors, Hummer Contracting, Avco, Smith Machine, and my girlfriend Joe, and my sister Bonnie.
Roy, and I got to ask you real quick one thing. From a racer standpoint, fan standpoint, first of all, I'm watching you out there. You've got about a 1 foot margin of error entering turn 1. You're seeing that bottom side work. Do you ever think of changing your lane, or are you just comfortable right where you're at with that margin of 1 foot?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not afraid of the wall, and that's not really a good thing, but I like it up there on top, and that's just where I feel more comfortable running.
Well, congratulations. Always a lot of fun to watch. Hey, and a big thanks, Stinger Racing Engines, all of our feature winners tonight. An extra $100 cash, so there's another $100 for you for your efforts tonight. Best of luck tomorrow evening as well. What a great way to end the season.
All right, and thanks a lot to Brian Juergens for the Stinger money. He's a good friend of mine. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Roy. How about it once again, race fans, for Roy Armstrong?
He was very practiced in his victory lane there.
Oh, yeah.
He's done that more than once.
He's been down there a couple times in his racing career. Well, Chet, IMCA Sport Modifieds.